Are you looking for a challenge?
If you look at the British automotive landscape, it's going to change fundamentally over the next few years. We're talking about a technological change, the like of which we've not seen for over 120 years.
When you have a classic car, it's about maintaining it, learning about the history of it. And I know every owner of this car, right back to the first owner. It's part of our heritage, and you've got to remember that the British car industry was one of the first and probably one of the biggest in the world. We had a huge influence on the world, and we must maintain that.
But we are enthusiastic. We are nurturing and preserving these things which we think are precious. 20 years from now, if this event is still happening, what will we see here? Where's the next generation going to want to be interested in it though? Are we a dying breed?
Part of what we strive to keep is the fact that you are the driver, you are in control of the car, the sound, all the tactile elements of what we provide for that driving experience. Most modern cars today, let's be honest, very, very clever, and they do pretty much everything for you, whereas actually with a Morgan, you're still in control. I think the future for us is we will carry on making vehicles that are compliant, but we've got a 110-year history. It's incredibly important for us as a company that we keep that alive. And my personal view is there will be an alternative technology comes along pre-full electrification.
To do 100 miles from an electric supply will cost you something between £2 and £3.
We just launched the largest hub of rapid units, 9 units. Companies like BP Chargemaster and the government all coming together that will help make it more mainstream.
I'd love one. I'm quite green. I'd love one, but there's just no point because there's just not the infrastructure there, there's not the charging points there, but I would really love one.
We drive to the Highlands of Scotland regularly. Unless they can produce an EV that can do a 500 mile plus range whilst towing a trailer and fully loaded, that can then recharge in 20 minutes from an ordinary plug somewhere, it's not going to be a car that I can consider.
My husband had a Tesla for 2 years. I didn't like driving at all, and the fact it was silent, thought it was quite dangerous. So we took it down to Cornwall, and in Cornwall there aren't many charging points.
Because it's an electric car, I didn't know much about that. You know, this is an equivalent to a Lamborghini Aventador. You put the foot down, I felt it.
I can do all my journeys within the electric range of the car. I was using a tank and a half per month. I now use half a tank a month.
The electric car will go well. I'd never have any other.
I own 2 electric cars. They're both Nissan Leafs, very smooth to drive, very quiet. The latest Leaf we can use on long trips. We charge up at home. If we're staying with someone, they've got a power point that we can use, so charge up overnight. There's a long way to go with the supply of charging points down the rural routes. There are virtually no charging points en route, and I think that's where they should start concentrating.
I've always enjoyed driving, and I'll continue to do so. And if ever the day came when you had to be automatic, pods, whatever, that would be the day that I'd hang up my driving gloves. I want to be in control of my own destiny. So if anybody wants to take the 3 Jaguars off us, they've got a fight on their hands.
Why go by car that's controlled by other things? Catch a bus. What's the real purpose? There'd be no enjoyment in motoring then.
I believe autonomous vehicles will be in our society to an extent. I don't believe that they will be the only vehicles on the road. I'd be happy driving with autonomous vehicles around. I wouldn't like to be a passenger in an autonomous car.
With autonomous vehicles, there'll be a certain standard. Rather than with humans, there'll be human differences. So there's like good drivers and the bad drivers. With autonomous vehicles, it'll be all the same.
Right now, my daily commute is 50 miles each way. In the winter, when it's dark and cold, it's horrible. So if the facility was there for me to get into a pod, plug the destination in and be able to sit back, even do some work, then you're in a much better environment.
I personally think that automation will come first and the removal of the human being will follow sometime later. But at some point, it'll be recognised that the human is irrelevant and that it's holding up progression.
Without a shadow of a doubt, the changes that we are seeing with electric vehicles and increasing levels of automation, they're pointed